One of the classic ways to, in many traditions, to approach the divine is through silence. And silence can be, well, there's several different ways to look at silence. One is to place ourselves in places in the world where it is quiet, out in nature, just maybe even the local neighborhood park, or get up early in the morning and go out for a walk, or sit and have a cup of tea and watch the birds out on the porch. There's lots of opportunities for silence if we seek them out. On the opposite side, for so many of us, there's a tendency to get engaged in life because it's stimulating, and so we always turn to the next thing, the next text, the next email, the next program, the next channel, the next show, the next drama, the next news item, etc. So there's always that sort of anxious looking forward of something that's even more stimulating than what I'm doing right now. And we get caught up into that. Our mind, just human mind, it's not an individual failing. It's the human mind has been trained over eons to sort of pay attention to the most, what seems to be the most important thing at any moment. And as life has gotten busier, that tendency has just gotten to be more and more addictive. So just seeking out opportunities for silence, recognizing that, my mind is getting caught up in that anxious expectation of something even better. It's like changing the channels on TV. Like, this channel's okay, maybe that one will be better, or maybe the next one. So it's always this point of greater happiness sometime in the future, fuels that desire. And when we see that pattern, and when we can feel it in our bodies, that sense of anxiousness that arises from that sense of really overstimulation, we can realize that the antidote for that is really spending time just by ourselves, quiet, gazing out the window, going for a walk early in the morning, maybe watching the sun go down. There's lots of times during the day to do that if we seek them out. Another example of this is, do we really need to engage in gossip, in sort of just idle chatter? Sure, it's enjoyable sometimes to do that with friends, no problem. But we can also choose at other times to choose to be quiet. So there can be silence in the outside world, like out in nature, where we just hear natural sounds, bird songs, wind in the trees. And then there's also a sense of not talking, not interacting with our favorite electronic devices. That's sort of a more internal use of silence. And then there's another layer that's even deeper than that, where we recognize that thoughts and emotions can feel noisy to us. And we realize that our preference is really to have a quieter state of mind. Many people, when they come to retreats, talk about the desire to have a more peaceful mind, to find a little bit of freedom from constant thinking and worrying. So it's possible, as we sit quietly, to notice the noise of our mind and notice that there's something deeper than that, something that notices that our mind is noisy, that whatever that is that's deeper, that notices, isn't noisy. It has to be silent in order to notice that something else in our mind is noisy. So it's useful to recognize just that simple mechanism, and to see that, okay, my mind might be a little busy, but there's something within there that is at peace already because it can notice the noisiness of my mind. And just try to tune into that deeper, quieter place. Even when there's activity in the mind, it is possible at the same time, even while that's going on, to sense into that deeper quietness. And there may be times when we really settle into total quiet, total peace in our minds, and that's beautiful too. So all of those ways of using silence are useful out in the world, using natural silence to, you could say, induce silence within myself, ourselves resonate with the silence of the nature. And then also use silence in terms of our day-to-day life as to give ourselves a break, to give ourselves a little space during the day to relax, to sense into what is actually most important to us, most important in our lives. What do we want this life to be about? And silence gives us that opportunity to just settle in and relax and allow those deeper answers to come toward us, you could say. So silence is, as I said, a tool that's been around for thousands and thousands of years in basically every spiritual tradition. Silence plays a key role. So that's something that we can honor in our own lives and practice in our own lives. And I would encourage you to give it the space that it deserves every day.